Hi, my name's Elisa Sevis, and I'm from Menifee, California, and I'm a Stanford admit through the Questbridge National College match. My Instagram is Elias underscore Sevis, and yeah. So first off, my GPA was 4.0 unweighted and then 4.33 unweighted. Weighted. Oh my god. My SAT was 1460, 740 in math, and then 720 in reading and writing. And then I think my essay was 24 to 24 for the SAT. Subject tests. Oh my god. So for math 2, I got 770. I think I got 740 for my US history exam. And then I got a 550 for my literature exam. So I didn't send that at all because no, we're not gonna send that. Yeah, and then I was ranked 5 out of 565 in my school. What type of student am I? Well, right here it says like achiever slash procrastinator, and I feel like that's both of me in the sense that I'm not gonna lie, I do procrastinate a lot, but I'm also that bitch who will go 120% on something. And when you are both of those two chaotic personality types, you become like an even more chaotic thing. And by that, I mean I will produce a quality piece of work. However, I procrastinated on it. So that means it might be quality, but that doesn't necessarily mean that me, like my body, is probably like in its best shape because I probably pull like 3 all-nighters to like make it that quality because I procrastinated. And that's all on me. Like I can't complain about that because it's me. Yeah. Oh, I went to a public school, like a regular public school. Yeah. Some activities I did. I was a student researcher through Pioneer Academics, which I was able to like luckily get a full scholarship to actually participate within it. I was also the founder of Humanities Club, co-founder of Latino Student Union, and I was also part of art club all 4 years of my high school. I was vice president for my senior year within art club. I can't forget soccer. Oh my god. Messi, U.S. women's. Okay. Um, yeah, I can't forget soccer because it's been such a like integral role of my life, and I played it like since my childhood, and of course, I did play it freshman junior year, and I did quit senior year. And the interesting part about that was that I was actually able to elaborate on why I quit because I just didn't like it anymore. And I elaborated on it within the like elaborate on your extracurricular essay, which I think they give us 150 words to write in. So yeah, that was like a good, way to like show why like I just discontinued playing soccer my senior year. Honors and academic awards. Like my junior year, I got like the Questbridge College Prep Scholar, which is like a program for. It's like a precursor to the National College Match, but like for juniors. I was also a National Hispanic Scholar, AP Scholar with Distinction Award, and then I just had miscellaneous like school awards like Student of the Month and etc. I'm actually gonna skip to a few questions down in answer number 11. My intended academic focus at Stanford will be economics, and I wanted to fast forward because for the next question, that actually ties in to my Common App essay, which is the next question. So my Common App essay, again, I have to clear up that I did the QuestBridge process, which was very different to the Common App process, but an essay that does like translate well to the Common App essay is our 500 word like essay found within the QuestBridge application, and it has like three like similar prompts, And the prompt I used was explain like an academic or intellectual interest like you have. So I did that one, and I first started off by talking about this game I liked called Civilization Revolution, and I played it like when I was a little kid, and I basically like attributed like that game to like how like my interest in economics started, and then I started like transitioning to like where I am now as like basically like an adolescent, and essentially I started just talking about like I cited like sources like within my life and how I began to become like very disillusioned with the world, and that led to like me becoming disillusioned with like, well, not disillusioned, but I became less idealistic with what economics was. And I cited the fact that like I have to drive like 30 minutes away to like get to my school that I attend to now, because like the schools around me, around my like actual home, aren't necessarily up to par to like quality education. So I talked about that and like how that experience between like actually like seeing like the change in like American socioeconomics, like being so determined on zip code, and like experiencing that, and like also seeing like the dilution of minorities as you went to like the richer area within like the school that I attended in. I began to wonder like why did all these like phenomenon occur, and that's what invigorated me to like do the research project with Pioneer Academics, and yeah, like yeah, um, so that's that. Number 8, my favorite Stanford supplement would have to be the most meaningful essay supplement about my mom. And that, of course, that's very cliche because, like, who doesn't love their, well, some people don't like their mom, but I love my mom, like, so much. and, but I didn't want to make it cliche, so I did really, like, focus on something that I know we only share. And I think it's something that does happen in other immigrant families, but this was something that I know that not a lot of people experience. And it was basically me just admitting how I only know the colloquial sides of Spanish and like the conversational language of Spanish, because my mom, of course, she only speaks Spanish, so the household was basically just like Spanish, Spanish, Spanish. So of course I'm gonna catch some Spanish and like actually learn it. But as a child, she really wanted me to learn English, and even though she didn't know English herself, she bought me leapfrog books and put on children's shows, and like I learned Spanish through those mediums. So, I just basically accredited her with just my academic excellence, because I know for a fact that if I wasn't able to master the English language, I wouldn't be successful in the American public education system. Like, that's just a straight fact. Like, there's no other way. Like, I wouldn't be able to write the essays I wrote at Stanford, the essays I wrote for the Questbridge application, other essays, like, just in total, like, in school, like, it's just something that is so, that may seem so trivial when you think about it, like, when you're a baby, and, like, you don't think that's gonna have, like, an impact on you, but reflecting on it in hindsight, like, that's something that's so transformative, and I just basically praised her for the fact that she had that communicative sacrifice, and she knew that even though I was going to learn English, like, she would inadvertently close herself from me, because she wouldn't be able to speak like extensively with me because she only knows Spanish, and I would only know little parts of Spanish that aren't necessarily like a wide range to have like a large conversations. So I just talked about that. Why did I apply to Stanford? I applied to Stanford because, one, environment. I'm born and raised in California, Southern California to be exact, and I knew that I would best like work most efficiently in an an environment that has sun. And, you know, yeah, Stanford. And on the academic side, like, I have always admired its academics, like, in terms of its economics program, like of course it's like world renowned, and like you can't like discredit that, but I really wanted to focus on the fact that it's something that's very balanced, and like other schools are very like focused on seeing economics in one way or another, but I felt like Stanford was very balanced, and I would have like a very wide range of like, you know, exposure to how like the lenses of like economics, you know, are viewed. And yeah. What other schools did I apply to? I applied to the UC system because California student, that's a rite of passage. Um, oh, and I also applied to Yale through the National College Match. I just ranked Stanford 1 and Yale number 2. Who do you think should apply to Stanford? I think overall students who aren't necessarily motivated by extrinsic reward should go and like, apply to Stanford, because from the people I've talked to in the group chats that I'm in, like I can definitely see like these people are just intelligent human beings and actually want to impact the world, and they don't want to go to Stanford solely because of the prestige. They want to go to Stanford to actually do something, and they want to do something, and they don't want to just make money. No, they want to have a lasting impact on the world, and that's something so extraordinary and awe-inspiring. And like just to see these individuals, like to know that these will be my colleagues, like it's something that's, you know, you just can't replicate. And it's again like students who I wouldn't, and like with, you know, an extension on like not being extrinsically motivated, that I mean they're very intrinsically motivated, and in that sense they're very self-assured, and they don't necessarily need a parade that they got into Stanford. Like I remember like at the LA reception, like this girl said like, oh, like when I got into Stanford, like I didn't want to tell anyone, and that was the same experience for me. And then like apparently it was the same experience for everyone, and at that moment I realized that like a lot of people at Stanford are very self-assured, and they don't necessarily need to project the idea that, oh look, I got into Stanford, because they're confident in themselves, and they don't need to show that to other people. They just need to like be proud of themselves because they fulfilled a lifelong goal of theirs. So, you know, an extension of that, like a good summary would of course be like be humble. Yeah, those type of students should apply to Stanford. What one piece of advice that you have for future Stanford applicants? Okay, so this is the last question, and I would love to finish this off on the fact that, you know, I think students should make the environment conform to their interests. And by that I mean, if the environment you're in right now has, you know, restricted you to pursue your interests or created barriers to do so, you know, or like they just don't exist, like the opportunities just don't exist, you know, don't be discouraged to try to make those opportunities like just come to fruition in your environment. And an example includes like I actually wrote about this in my intellectual vitality essay for Stanford. You know, my friends and I were in IB Art our junior year of high school, and we loved the class so much. Such an interesting class. Like, I had so much fun creating my own profile. That's a tangent, anyways. So it got canceled my senior year, and we were mad. I would say very mad, but also very devastated because, you know, we loved the class, and now without it, like we were pretty lost on what we would want to do. And me and my friends came up with the idea to like, um, specifically Diane. I love you, Diane. If you're seeing this, you're not watching this. I know you're not. But yeah, we came up with the idea that, you know, we're in charge of art club now, so why don't we just make art club the new IB art? And, you know, I just wanted to say that because like I just wanted to show that Stanford probably does want to see people that create opportunities for themselves. And like, just because like art IB art was canceled at my school doesn't mean we're gonna stop pursuing it. We just found a new way to host it. And another way to like view this in like a more academic light would be through self-studying. I was very scared and like adamant on like how prepared I would be for like the research I would be doing over the summer at the Pioneer Academics program. And I was like, like I'm gonna be doing political economy work, and yet I've never taken an advanced economics class, but I'm very excited to do this. So like I took it upon myself to self-study macro and microeconomics for the AP exam, so I can actually get like a proficiency within it. And I think I got a 5 on macro and a 4 on micro. And the premise of that story, of both stories, just goes to show that like just because an opportunity may not look like it exists in your environment, or it may not be provided, or there's just like straight up barriers to like actually pursuing it, that doesn't necessarily constitute that you shouldn't pursue it. And I wanted to very emphasize this because I feel like with Stanford, if you can show that you may have limited resources and yet you've made that opportunity happen despite your limited resources, that could possibly convey a very strong student, because that just goes to show that if you can do this with limited resources, just imagine what you can do at Stanford with virtually unlimited resources. And that's my advice. Thank you so much. Subscribe to Jose's channel. Okay.